All right, fellow Toastmasters, I believe we're ready to move into our next prepared speaker, and that, ladies and gentlemen, will be Mr. Jim Sims. Jim Sims is a competent communicator and has been a Toastmaster since October of 1997, when he joined the EZ Toastmasters in Hauppauge, Long Island. Over these 23 years, Jim has been an area governor, new club chair, club coach, and club mentor. He currently serves as our Vice President of Public Relations. Jim will always put joining Toastmasters as one of his wisest decisions. He literally landed a nonprofit job in Newport Richey in 2003 because he emphasized his experience as a Toastmaster. Presenting 23 years a student, Jim Sims.
A student is one who studies. He or she is attentive and a systematic observer. This evening, I was definitely looking forward to spending some time at Glory Days Grill, because what happens when we have our monthly social, if we have a brand new person at that meeting, John Morse, DTM 2 times over, he'll always pick up the first round of drinks. I could taste the Chardonnay this evening. Don Prue, perhaps it would be bourbon and water for Don. Alyssa, I can imagine Alyssa having a really rich glass of Merlot. But unfortunately, the cold came in and it was too cold for us to sit outside at Glory Days. So I thought, what can I do to share with the youngest and funnest club in all the world? How can I be benevolent to these people who I value so very, very much? And I thought what I can do is share some ideas, some tips that I have learned during my Toastmaster career. Some of it has been by trial and error, and some of it has been for those people like John Morse whispering in my ear, giving me some suggestions on how to improve. One of the first things I think is very, very important is your audience. It's essential that you connect with your audience. Your audience wants to see you succeed. And sometimes you think, oh, people want to see you fail. Why, tonight, even Wesley is looking for me to do a decent job in presenting some of these tips for you. In May of 2014, Jim Carrey, comedian and actor, was given an honorary degree in Fairfield, Iowa. And at that commencement address, when he received that degree, he said, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. The effect that you have on others, the effect that you have on your audience, that is how you become a powerful presenter. Eye contact. I didn't always make good eye contact. I still have an opportunity to improve in that area. Matter of fact, early on in the Mad Toastmasters, one of the evaluators called me the glancer. She said, you make eye contact, but it's so fleeting. It's very instantaneous. I suggest 5 to 8 seconds per set of eyes, or perhaps one thought per set of eyes. Look for the people who are embracing you with their eyes and connect with them almost like laser beams. Pauses. I can even see John Morse laughing now. A pause is a pretty important part of your speech. I even suggest beginning your speech with a pause. Olivia Schofield, who was on the world stage, one of the finalists, the world champion of public speaking, the woman after my own heart, she went over 30 seconds, and probably her award-winning speech was disqualified because she went over. She said to fail to pause is to deny your audience the opportunity to embrace what you had to share with them. A tip that I have been using for a long time is don't memorize your speech, rehearse your ideas. I remember the second or third speech I gave at Mad Toastmasters at New York Life. One of the members was a voice coach, and she came up to me after the speech. She said, you memorized your speech, didn't you? I said, yeah, how did you know? She said, I saw your eyes roll back in your head 2 times as you were trying to find your place. So if you rehearse your ideas, you don't have to be precise. If you were going to give 8 tips and you only give 7, nobody's going to notice because you're not necessarily following an exact script. And then finally, tell a story. I think that is one of those classic tips that really make a difference. Don't think of giving a speech. Think of having a conversation. Tell something powerful in your life, something that has touched you, and that is how you can connect with an audience. Use an outline, use handheld cue cards, and begin especially with a memorable opening. Speak passionately about something that you really care about and think of it as having a conversation. Now, you don't necessarily have to show your hands. You can kind of do it remotely, but how many of you are nervous whenever you're asked to speak? That is something that is so very, very common. Even distinguished Toastmasters feel that way at times. And I believe that some of us might reflect back to Jerry Seinfeld, who said people would rather be in the casket than delivering the eulogy. So that fear of public speaking is very, very common. Mark Twain said there's two speakers in the world, two kinds of speakers. One, the nervous speakers, and two, the liars. So nervousness is something to be expected. Have it be the energy that drives your success. Welcome it and know that it's going to be there and embrace it anyway. Preparation. How long do you need to prepare for a speech? Somebody who's brand new may be preparing, over preparing, and sometimes maybe somebody's doing too much winging it rather than preparing. Wayne Burgraff, author, preacher, and philosopher, said it takes 1 hour of preparation for each minute of presentation. 1 hour of preparation for each minute of presentation. So think about that the next time that you're planning to give a speech at Toastmasters. Also, make sure that you keep those evaluations and, even more importantly, those love notes. Keep them forever. That's what I've done. Sometimes I throw away the ones who said you have your hands in your pocket, but I try to keep the ones that are encouraging to me and where I've seen I've made some growth. I know back in 10, 12 years ago, some of the things that people said, you're a sensitive person, you held our attention, you were inspiring, well-dressed. I always try to be well-dressed. Opportunities for growth included make more riveting eye contact, pause, poor effect, more vocal variety. At one point, someone said you had your hand in your pocket. John Morse wanted to sew my pockets together at one time, but I've tried to get away from that a little bit. And somebody else said, it's a good job. You could use more vocal variety, and that's how you'll connect to your audience. Opportunities or positives that I received about 6 years ago. Great passion, a very powerful storyteller. I love the use of quotes when you wove them into the timeline of your life. Your personal experience was very, very powerful when I talked about having prostate cancer at a Relay for Life. And then when I was retiring and I went to the play Ain't Retirement Grand, Alice Delgado at West Pasco Toastmasters said, "You almost brought me to tears." Try to take your audience and bring them to tears. That's going to be really when you know you've made an impact in people's lives. Roger Staubach, Naval Academy quarterback, Dallas Cowboy quarterback, said that that confidence doesn't come out of nowhere. It's a result of something, hours and days and weeks and years of consistent work and dedication. So it's important to be confident, and even if you sometimes have to fake it. Think, for example, back a few weeks ago when John Morse did a back pocket speech. Now, somebody might say, well, he's a distinguished Toastmaster. He's been around for so many years. Try it yourself. We should never have an opening for a speaker with a club with 20 or 25 members. So challenge yourself. And then I will share with you the power that lies within. Everyone has inside of him a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, what you can accomplish, and what your potential is. Anne Frank said that. And John Wooden, the famous UCLA basketball coach, said, it's what you learn after you know it all that really matters. If I had a chance to have a mulligan, I wouldn't have waited till I was 50 years old to join Toastmasters. I would have joined it a little bit earlier. But now that I'm retired and now that I belong to the youngest and funnest club in all the world, I'm going to see it as a gift. I'm going to try to share it. I'm going to stay on the path of education. And I hope that each and every one of you will be in class with me. Thank you.